Welcome everyone. Welcome to our AZ Workflow sessions today. And let me kick off the first session by discussing InfoBurst workflows, and we'll also discuss about integrating business objects and Tableau itself. So the agenda itself, we are going to cover three main things today. We'll talk a little bit about BO coexistence and how Tableau is connected with business objects. What are the different methods that customers are using to integrate Tableau with business objects? And some of you here are already familiar with InfoBurst, and we have a product called as InfoBurst tab, which does this. But I want to add some of the new innovations that were added to the product, and I want to show the demo of that. And these features were completely customer driven. How did we listen to our customer? What are the feedback that was given by the customer? And how did we come up with the new innovation called as the InfoBurst workflows? And that will be our demo for today. And before we get into our InfoBurst part, we wanted to discuss business objects coexistence. What is the need for a coexistence that arises in an organization? First of all, we need the right tool for the right job. We all know that certain tools are good for dashboarding, certain tools are good for reporting. And how do we have an environment where every tool does the right job? And how do we do that for the right user? There are users who are great Tableau dashboard developers. There are amazing Universe developers. Gone are the days where you have a person who's a Universe developer, a Webby report writer, a Crystal report writer, an Excel sheet designer. We don't find that type of a skill set anymore with all the different tools. The dashboard designers, especially the ones who do Power BI or Tableau, they're not familiar with universes. In fact, one of our customer case studies, the customer here in New Jersey, who is a big automotive rental company, they have Tableau Zen masters who have never heard about business objects universes. Maybe they're a lot younger, that might be the reason, or they focus solely on like UI, UX design, and where they specialize on Tableau dashboard development. They don't focus much on BO universes. And there is another customer who wanted to recreate everything that they do in business objects in Tableau, but they don't want to go to the universes or Webby reports. Can be recreate things within the Tableau world. So these are some requirements that came to us, and these all relate to the coexistence need itself. And then comes the collaboration between IT and business, where usually the business users are downloading a bunch of Excel files from Webby reports or Crystal reports or any other reporting platform, and they start building Tableau dashboards on their own. But IT or the business intelligence team, they don't want that to be happening to the end users. They want to have a better tool where it can be a collaboration between the business and IT itself. And there is a value in leveraging the strength of both solutions. Yes, Tableau is great, but they have done enormous amount of work in the universe development, and there's a lot of investment in business objects. Well, how can we leverage that? So these are the needs for the coexistence itself. But with that comes a challenge as well. You need to support two BI solutions, and there's limited or no integration between these tools, so you don't want to recreate everything. And the self-service discovery tools such as Tableau or Power BI, it's directly sold to business without even consideration of IT. And then that will create something called as a data governance issue as well, because people are recreating it, and then these data flows are really poor. And in fact, people do have access to user-friendly or business user-friendly ETL tools nowadays, such as Elation, Alteryx, Tableau Prep, which comes with Tableau license and other stuff as well. And in a typical business objects / Tableau world, there are different ways that people try integrating with business objects without using any third-party tools. And one of the standard way is exporting data to Excel. Now, all these dashboarding tools, including Tableau or Power BI, they are amazing with Excel dataset. And when you have a Webby report, it's easy to download or export to Excel. And in fact, you guys would have noticed, like any report that you design, the first question a business user would ask is, can I export to Excel? So it's easy to get the data in Excel, and from there, they do their Tableau magic. And some people go a level above where like, okay, we don't want to deal with a lot of manual Excel files. What are the ways that we can run SQL queries? Okay, I don't know SQL, but it's easy for me to create a Webby report. That's how Webby came into existence, where you don't need to know what SQL is or how SQL syntax is being constructed, and then you just drag and drop objects from a universe, and then that creates a web intelligence report. Now, within the Webby query panel, you know that you can go and get the SQL query, and you can plug and play that SQL query in Tableau. And yes, that does work as well. But without understanding the complexity of SQL, just by doing a copy paste, that it's not the best way to have a dashboard based off it. Some people go one step further where they said, okay, how can we connect directly to our database? Can we tap into our data warehouse directly? Let me know what all tables are there in the universe, and I'll connect to the table directly. Now, the problem here is that you are skipping the whole universe and the data warehouse that you have developed, and then you're tapping into the SQL tables directly. If you know the tables and if you know what actually joins are, yes, it's great, but usually in like bigger organizations, these are restricted and DBAs don't give access, or they don't give you the database passwords where you can connect to it. So that's another roadblock to this issue. And we have seen other customers reverse engineer the universe logic using other ETL tools such as Alteryx or Tableau Prep. So to do that, you need to know in and out of how a universe is being built, and you have to go in and then check all the different nuances within your universe design tool, and then recreate it in Tableau Prep or Alteryx. Now, there are great, amazing ETL tools such as Informatica and Alteryx who can do about 70 to 80% of what a universe does, but still you can't get to exactly the level where a semantic layer functions in business objects. And plus, it's a lot of rework. You have to know exactly what a universe does to create that in the Alteryx world. So you need to find a person who knows Alteryx really well and the universes really well, and then convert it directly into the Alteryx logic. So these are the 4 different methods. And then comes the path where you can use InfoBurst, where you don't have to worry anything about what's been done in business objects. You can just leverage what's available so far with the concept of our workflows. For some of you who know InfoBurst already, we have a concept called as Burst. And then with the Burst, you can connect to SQL queries, Excel files, Webby reports. And now we have also added the functionality of connecting directly to the universe, where you don't have to connect to your Webby reports anymore and push that data to your Tableau server, your Tableau desktop, meaning your network drive, and create Tableau dashboards. And you can do normal bursting capabilities that come with Web Intelligence and Tableau, combining the data into different PDFs, Excel data, bursting Tableau dashboards into Excel. So that's what InfoBurst is today in a nutshell. Now, let me get into the demo of what workflows are, which is completely new. And I'm going to show what currently you guys have seen in InfoBurst as a concept of burst first, and then I'll get into the workflows itself. So let me log into my InfoBurst. And this version that I'm showing here is our new InfoBurst 64-bit platform. So we have moved away from our 32-bit, which has like data limitations and memory limitations in our older version. Now we don't have any, and you can have like millions of rows pushed from business objects or SQL queries to your Tableau server itself. So in a typical InfoBurst workflow, the first step is, and for some of you who are not familiar with InfoBurst, InfoBurst is a report bursting publishing platform, like similar to your business objects publishing. So you can bring in a document catalog. So I'm going to walk you through the steps on what InfoBurst does usually, and then I'm going to jump into the workflows itself. So the first step in InfoBurst is you catalog a document. InfoBurst can connect to multiple platforms. So I select a document from one of my business object servers. So here I have my BI Launchpad hierarchy, and then the folder hierarchy. I can select one of the report. I catalog the report. This is step 1. And then the second step is to create a burst. I call this sales burst. Save this, and then in the items, I add my business objects report. And then here, if I have any parameters, values, I can click on LOVs. And this is new within InfoBurst as well, where you can retrieve the list of values within InfoBurst. And then you select, okay, along with California, I need Pennsylvania, Ohio. I can apply the field value. I can do any other further filtering, additional filtering that's available. And then you can select a delivery here as well. So once I save this, I can go, and these are the different destinations that InfoBurst can deliver a document. So one of that is Tableau server as well. So I can select Tableau server, select one of my Tableau projects. So here I select my default project, Webby, and then I can do Tableau Hyper. And then the other function we added pretty recently was like you can select a particular report tab, or you can select the entire data provider, meaning the query that generates the Webby report as well. I click on save, I run this. Now this is a typical burst workflow. Once you test the burst, then if you want to add this to a schedule, then you come back, add a schedule. So you call this the schedule. Then I add the burst that I just created. I select this, and then my frequency, I can select daily, Monday to Friday, click on save. So there are 3 objects involved here, and there are 3 different steps. The first, I catalog a document. Second, I create a burst. Then I schedule this. This is good for a BI developer, people who are familiar with publications and other stuff. And we came across a customer who is now using InfoBurst tab in their production environment, where they have users who know Tableau, only Tableau, and they have no idea what BusinessObjects is. How can we make them leverage InfoBurst, and we want them to use BusinessObjects in a simple to easy fashion? How can we do this? Now, having that concept in mind, we have built what is called as the workflow itself. So I'm going to show you what a workflow is in InfoBurst. So let me create a new folder so that we start from fresh. So I go to this new folder, and in our latest version of InfoBurst, you'll see a new option called as workflows. I click on workflow. Now, as a business user who sees this, it's very clear, plain and simple, black and white, where it say, okay, do you want to do Webby to Tableau Hyper? Do you want to have a database query converted to Tableau Hyper? Do you want to connect to Universe and convert to Tableau Hyper? Webby to PDF Excel? So we have like explicit buttons telling exactly what you need to be done from an input point, and then what is to be delivered on the destination side itself. Now, let's start with Universe to Tableau Hyper. This is new in our InfoBurst tab product. So here, even if someone is not familiar with what a universe is, they're familiar with selecting objects in Tableau world. In Tableau Desktop Designer, you can go connect to a table, and then you'll see all the objects and select what are the objects that you need to create a dashboard. And then you start building your Tableau dashboard. With that concept in mind, we have designed our first workflow, which is Universe query to Hyper. Now, consider yourself as someone who's seeing InfoBurst for the first time, if you've already seen InfoBurst. And now we are going to navigate you through a step-by-step process of what you would do to get your source data, which is your BusinessObjects data, to Tableau itself. So here is our Universe query to Hyper workflow. The very first thing when you create for a Webby report is you select a universe. And here in InfoBurst, you can connect to multiple BusinessObjects platform, not just one. So I'm connecting to my demo environment. I click on continue. And now, exactly to how you create a Webby report, you see a list of universes in that BusinessObjects platform. And here the data security is embedded as well, like based on the user who's connecting to the BO system, which I've configured in our system configuration. I'll see the universes only which I'm allowed to see. So my data security is also included in this process. So I'm selecting the universe that I'm interested in. So even if a Tableau user sees it for the first time, they select a universe. And now in a tree structure, you see all the objects that you see in your business layer. This process is exactly similar to how you would create a web intelligence report. So here I'm selecting the objects that I need: customer state, customer city. Similar to our Webby query panel, you're going to see all the objects on the right-hand side, product group, and I just need the product name. I don't need all the associated attributes with it. Let me add some measures. So I'll go here and I select number of products, number of orders, number of shipments, revenue, average revenue. So here I have all the objects that I need for me to create a dashboard. And if I want to filter the dashboard further, I can either use the universe filters that I have here, so which come in as a prompt, or I could create my custom filter by selecting, say, if I need my customer state to be California, I select this and I can do like customer state to be California as well. So let me do California, and I can preview the data, which will show you like a sample set of data. In the interest of time, I'll continue to the next process. If there was any universe prompt, it will be going to number 2 section, where you can have a universe prompt that you have created in your IDT, and you can enter the values there. And here I have my multiple Tableau servers. And since I'm the administrator for InfoBurst, I have access to multiple Tableau servers here. I'm selecting one of the Tableau servers, selecting the default project, and I'll call this Universe AZ Build Cog. and I can click on continue. And right here, I can decide, okay, I've created this workflow. I pulled in the objects that I need for the dashboard. Do I need a schedule? Do I need this every 3 days or every day in a Monday to Friday? I can set up the schedule right away here, right? I don't have to go through a process of cataloging a document, adding a burst, creating a schedule later. Now, InfoBurst navigates through the workflow directly from start to finish from where we select the universe objects. So I click on save and continue. Everything gets validated. It makes sure that my account has access to that particular Tableau project as well. Then I click on run now. And from here, we go to the universe, run the query, and take all the objects and data associated with the selection. And then we create a hyperfile using the Hyper SDK, and we upload it natively to our Tableau server. So a user doesn't have to know about what is a burst, what is a schedule, what is cataloging. You don't have to know any of the details in this workflow concept itself. Now, when I go to my Tableau server, default, I think I had a different project. Yeah. So here, when I go to my modified, I have my universe AZ Bookmark selection. Right here, I can select this, and then I can create a new workbook. And here you would notice that everything that I've selected from the universe is now delivered as a hyperfile here. Any questions on this workflow? Do we have any questions so far?
No open questions as of yet, but I'll let you know if any come in.
Okay. Okay. All right. So here I have all my objects that I've selected from the universe, and I'm going to build a quick and dirty dashboard. So let me bring my product group, and then I'll do my revenue. All right. And then I'll save this workflow. So I'll call this AC Bookmark dashboard and click on save. Now, this is one part of InfoBurst where you supply the data source for your Tableau dashboard. You take business objects and then you push it to Tableau server. Now, we do have a lot of customers where they have a bunch of Tableau dashboards and different Tableau data sources, meaning they don't even connect to business objects, but they have these Tableau dashboards that are to be distributed or to be burst to different locations. Even for that, we can use our workflow concept. So I'm going to go here and let me go to a new workflow. So here we have another workflow where you can have a workbook to PDF/Excel, and there's this data driven. So I'm going to select this workbook to PDF Excel, and I can connect to my Tableau server, similar to how I connected to business objects. And under the default section, now we just created this AZ Bookmark dashboard. So I'm selecting this. And we have this concept of filtering for Tableau as well. And you notice that my dashboard that I built has only the product group and revenue. But on my left-hand side over here, I have customer city, state, and everything. Say I want to send this dashboard for every single state. Even though I don't have the state within the dashboard or the visualization section, I do have the data set for customer state. So using that, I can filter the value. So I can select like customer state, and I'll say this, since we have only California data, I think I'll select only California for now, and then I can add like a workbook filter. And this I can deliver to my email or network folder. So I'll deliver to one of the network folders. I'll call this state PDF. I can add it as an email notification. I click on continue, adds it to a schedule. I'll put this in daily, have it like Monday to, I'll have like Monday to Friday, save and continue, and then I run now. So now the same dashboard that we had created can get split into multiple customer states. In this case, we had only one state, and then it applies a filter here as well. And then here in my network share, I get my PDF delivered. So I go to my IB share, AZ Bookmark. here is my state PDF, which is a dashboard directly because we have only like one state. And once you have a business user create these workflows, now you want to take it to the next level where you want to add events to it. You want to add like other conditions to a burst. Now our burst is more complicated in terms of features, and it gives like more additional features for your event-based workflows. So if you want to take that to the next level, you have an option to do this Unwrap workflow. So as you all know, the workflow is nothing but cataloging, creating a burst, and adding it to a schedule. Now, when I unwrap this workflow, the BI team can take it to the next level. So they click on it. You would notice that within the workflow folder, now I have 3 different objects. You have the dashboard, you have the schedule, and you have the burst as well. Now you can add additional features to it. So this is where we have designed a concept called as the workflow, where it makes easier for the business user to get started with InfoBurst. Now, for the business user, say if you want to hide the concept of creating a burst or adding a database connection, we have added a new function to our user here as well. So if I create a Tableau IB user, for example, or let's say I create a new user, here you would notice that for this user, I can enable the following workflows such as Tableau Hyper and Tableau Publishing. So now I'm going to log in as a different user. So I'll call this Tableau IB user. Okay, now this user, if you notice, he doesn't have access to create anything like a burst or anything. So I can go here, and then the user has access only to workflows and schedules. They don't have everything that an administrator sees. And when they click on workflow, notice that since this is a Tableau only user, they don't have access to create Webby report to PDF or other stuff. They have only Tableau functionalities. They can connect to Universe, they can connect to a database query to Tableau Hyper, workbook to PDF, and Excel data driven. So they can use those workflows and only the workflows. They don't have to worry about creating a burst. And you as a BI team administrator or a BI developer, you can unwrap the workflow or you can manage all the other workflows that your business users are creating. So this is our foray into getting InfoBurst as a business user tool directly. So people who are familiar with ETL tools, people who are familiar with using Tableau connecting to different data sources, now they can use InfoBurst and our workflow concept and start building Tableau dashboard content. So that is our objective behind designing these Tableau workflows. Now, for other legacy BO publishing use cases and the other different publishing users who want to use InfoBurst, we have built our workflows not only specific to Tableau, so you can go here and select workflows. You can have like Webby to PDF Excel, so that's your report publishing scenario. I can go here, select a Webby report, use prompts. So for example, I'll go to one of the report, sales revenue detail. I don't have any prompts, I believe, or maybe, yeah, I do have prompts, and I can select like list of values. And then this is exactly the process of creating a publication and much more simpler, I would call it. So I can add like multiple values. I can use our date macros or supply the values for date as well. So I can click on apply field value, click on continue. I can add like additional filters apart from the prompts that have been created. I can click on continue, select the different deliveries that I have. And right now we have restricted deliveries to workflows where it's only like network folder and email. So I'll select one of my folders. And the format, I can have like PDF, Excel, XLSX. I can select like, okay, do I want like all the tabs, or maybe I want to toggle this. I just want like my revenue and discount tabs. I click on save, click on continue, select a different schedule, the different days and months, save and continue, and then I can run now. So for someone who's seeing this for the first time, scheduling a report in BI Launchpad is even more complex, but scheduling a report through an InfoBurst workflow is much more easier in the way that we have built our IB workflows. There we go. So we have like different reports with the data specific to the selection that we made. All right. So that's our concept of workflows. And there are a bunch of benefits to why we do this here. So now when we connect business objects to Tableau or Power BI for this example, and we are planning to expand to other use cases as well. Right now, we have 4 customers who are extensively using this workflow. They were the drivers behind these workflow concepts and our universe connectivity as well. So some of them are using directly in production. Some of them are still working out of different use cases, and they give us more ideas on how workflows can be enhanced. Now, this creates the most comprehensive view for your organization where you have like different tool sets. Here is an input, here's the destination, how we do it. Like 2 days ago, we had another demo with our customer, and then they asked like, oh, can we catalog an Excel report from SharePoint and deliver to Tableau server? We are planning to include that in our workflow where you select a platform, which is your SharePoint, add an Excel file and push it to Tableau server. So you can do that with our same burst as well, but workflows are much more easier for business users. And this enables the self-service analytics and reporting for your business objects data. You don't have to recreate everything that you have created in Business Objects Hub. And that increases the productivity literally because you don't have to maintain 2 different ETL infrastructures, one for business objects and one for Tableau or Power BI. You can use a tool and make it much more simpler. Any changes that you make to your business object sources are now automatically cascaded to your Tableau world as well with this workflows. And that definitely increases your return on investment for multiple platforms that you invest within the organization. So here's more information about InfoBurst tab, and we do have other webinars and topics specific to business objects and Tableau, Power BI, Coexistence. Feel free to follow us on our SpeakPO platform, and I'm here to answer any other questions. Here's my email if you need any further details. All right, I think I'm 2 minutes early or about on time, Heather.
Yes, sorry, I was talking away and you couldn't hear me. You are, so I appreciate your promptness.
Okay.
That's awesome. I was actually just throwing that blog link into the chat for everybody too, so they could just click on it if they want to check it out. And also while you were speaking, I was throwing all of the InfoBurst tab links into the chat as well. So anyone who's interested in what you just saw, just pop on over to your chat, grab those links and check it out. You have no open questions at this time. It looks like Paul's going to jump in though. Hi, Paul.
Yes, I always have questions.
That's awesome.
So Rajesh, I mean, obviously there's a lot of people using both Tableau and business objects, out there today, and it seems as though that state of coexistence is going to continue for the foreseeable future. Are you just seeing, from the customers you're working with, that one-way flow in terms of pushing business objects content into Tableau, or are you also seeing, other options that people want to pursue in terms of merging business objects and Tableau content together?
Right. The main use case on how we started with workflows was to connect universes to Tableau. We wanted to have a simpler workflow and connecting to universes. Now we expanded that concept into other workflows as well, but now what people are more interested is in having Tableau distribution, because Tableau lacks the distribution concept itself. Like even the subscriptions that you have in Tableau server, you need to pay for a license fee for like every user who subscribes to a Tableau dashboard. Versus when you use InfoBurst, you can have like 1 or 2, a bunch of licenses of Tableau, and then you can distribute to hundreds or even thousands of people the same Tableau dashboard content. And there was a user who asked an issue where they have a SQL report. They want to get the SQL output into an Excel file and combine a Tableau dashboard along with it, which InfoBurst natively does it with our content grouping facility. So not just combining Webby and Tableau content, you can combine a SQL output and a Tableau dashboard and send it directly to it. And we have other different ways customers are using. You can embed a Tableau dashboard into a Webby report, a Power BI report into a Webby report, use InfoBurst to send it directly into a PDF or a PNG image, into a HTML image, into our portal. What are the different ways where you can save on your licenses on Tableau side? Because it's expensive when you deliver to like hundreds of thousands of users. So that's where InfoBurst really scores on report distribution, be it anything. It's Tableau or your data source. So I would literally consider InfoBurst as two things. One is connecting the data to these tools. And then after you build something in Tableau or Power BI, how do you distribute it outside to the outside world?
Yeah, you mentioned
These
something
two are
there really
things.
interesting that, that I have to pull you up on. You said that you could embed a Tableau dashboard in a Webby report. If you then subsequently distribute that Webby report with the embedded Tableau dashboard, I assume that you're still going to need to connect back to Tableau in some shape or form to be able to utilize it, unless, because it won't be active and interactive anymore, right?
That is correct. So it's not interactive, but at least you'll consume only like one Tableau license via the Webby iframe connector. And I do have another separate webinar on how you bring a Tableau dashboard into Webby. So you would still save on your licenses, but you can distribute it as PDF or PNG images out of Web Intelligence. End of the day, you're distributing only a Webby report. What's inside a Webby report doesn't matter to a Tableau license or business objects.